by the way. Hello. Today, we're going to kind of follow this pattern here. 1882, a Nietzsche, a guy who's just, you read him and you want to hang yourself. He declared, God is dead. 1966, Time magazine asked the question, is God dead? 2011, with all the things that are going on. On this program, we're going to declare today, God lives, He's involved, and He's waiting for you to notice and respond. And I'll show you exactly how I know He lives and is involved, and what I'm going to show you an individual. I think He's sending you a message. He's kind of inside, screaming to get out, sending you a message that, no, I am not dead. Wait. Don't go anywhere. This is a show you don't want to miss. Come on. Well, hello, America. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about Israel. Israel is about the size of New Jersey. It is this little itty-bitty country right here in the middle of all the fire. Okay? It's surrounded by happy nations like Egypt and Libya and Saudi Arabia and Yemen and Bahrain and Iran and Jordan and Lebanon and Syria and Turkey. It's great. And as these nations, one by one, go through unrest and regime changes, all of the change is a little more hostile towards Israel. One glance at the news, and it's easy to see the momentum is not going in the right direction if you care at all about Israel. I want to show you what's happened generally in the last 24 hours or so. Just since we met last night, and you tell me, are things getting better or worse? Yesterday, UN General Secretary Ban Ki-moon said Israel needs to end its occupation of the Palestinian territory and called the so-called occupation morally and politically unsustainable. Then Turkey, remember, a member of NATO. Hey, wait a minute, we're about to turn this whole thing over to NATO. That's so good that Turkey's in there because nothing spooky happening in Turkey. The Turkish Deputy Prime Minister called for Turkey to strengthen its relations with Iran. That's going to be good. Yeah, in order to solve some of the regional problems. What problems they might solve in Iran? Last I checked, Iran was talking about triggering the return of the Mahdi, or the 12th Imam, by, chaos and bloodshed and vaporizing Israel. But it's a good thing Turkey's on board now. A senior Iranian military commander says recent developments boost Iran's regional power in that region, and the recent uprisings in the Middle East are a wave of Islamic awakening. Great. Iran, by the way, also busy. They're cozying up to Lebanon, another one of those countries on fire in the Middle East right around Israel. Top officials from the two nations have just met and discussed the need for unity and solidarity among the regional nations. Oh, man, this is going to work out well. By the way, in a completely unrelated story, this happened just a couple of days ago. A cargo ship. It's around here someplace. Cargo ship. Those are Navy vessels. There's the cargo ship. It was just intercepted off of Israel's coast and headed into the hands of Hamas in Gaza. Now, here's the disturbing part. The Israeli Navy made this discovery on board. Show me the gifts inside. Look at that. It's like a Pez dispenser, except missiles come out. Missiles strong enough to take out Israeli Navy ships. Oh, and the cargo ship was from Iran, who's strengthening their ties with everybody around. And the missiles, they're Chinese. Now, there's something else going on. And coincidentally, the same time that SEIU's Stephen Lerner is expected to march people into the streets here in New York to try to collapse the Dow Jones, our economy, and take down J.P. Morgan Chase, a story that nobody seems to care about, radicals on the left are also planning to take the Freedom Flotilla II to end the siege in Gaza. Now, this is similar to the one Bill Ayers and Code Pink were all about supporting just a few months back in the summer. By the way, while we're here with the lovable Bill Ayers, who the president he never knew. He just, he's currently in the Middle East with his wife, Bernadine Dorn. Now, she's the one after Charlie Manson, stabbed that woman to death, the pregnant woman with a fork, and then they all sat down and had dinner. His wife was the one that said, "Far out," and then they ate with the dead chick on the floor. Oh, she's still a sweetheart, and there's still a couple of lovebirds, but they're in Beirut now. This was taken just a few days ago, but here's what they're talking about now. They're trying to teach people about a new world order. Listen how everybody in the world can vote. It's great.
What if you say, every resident of a country with an American military base within its borders ought to have the right to vote in an American presidential election? That causes a different kind of way of thinking, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
I mean, imagine, hundreds and hundreds of millions of people voted for the American president from countries as diverse as Cuba and Italy and, wherever. What a great idea. Well, I don't know if you think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea.
He does think it's a great idea, just like all those great ideas they had back in the 1960s when they were plotting terrorism together with the Weather Underground. Hey, I wonder, I haven't checked the border, but then again, nobody's checked our southern border for a while. But I wonder if we checked, maybe Bill Ayers and Bernadine Dorn are on some sort of terrorist exchange program that we don't know about in the Middle East. Could be. He went on to say that that's why Obama really was over in Germany before the election, running for president of the world, pretty much. Isn't that great? Now, 24 hours ago, a Facebook page was up, but it was finally taken down last night after complaints flooded into Facebook to have it removed. The page called for a third Palestinian uprising. The original page were calls to take to the streets, but that's just what the president said. Take to the streets, you kids, you crazy kids of digital age. Get up, revolution, it's neato. Well, on this page there were motivational quotes like this one. I love this. Judgment Day will be brought upon us only once the Muslims have killed all the Jews. What? The page had more than 340,000 fans. Natalie Portman, the Academy Award, the one who's like, I'm a ballet dancer. She has 477 fans. So it's pretty much the same. They want to kill all the Jews. Really like Natalie Portman, and they're going for her for the Oscar. Also, a little story that I saw in the news is probably not even worth mentioning. Just about 2,200 Marines and sailors from Camp Lejeune are just getting ready to deploy, to Libya. That's put on a ship just off the coast. No big. This is an air campaign. What? All right. So you have all of this going on simultaneously. And it was all triggered by the spontaneous uprisings. They happened overnight. Remember the stories? The administration was taken off guard. They were surprised. They didn't know what to do. Yeah. President needed time to figure out how to respond because it was so crazy. Could I be a burr under his saddle? Just for a second. Could I just interject a little reality? Could I just show you what we have found? I know it takes, 87 people at Media Matters all day long just to take what I say to you here and then try to smear it and turn it upside down. 87. And they're hiring more with George Soros money. But us 10 little people here that do the research on this show, look what we found. Wouldn't it be amazing what, like somebody from ABC News, what they could find? 10 on this program found this. Reports in an Egyptian newspaper are now revealing that the Obama administration met with members of Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood way back in the time machine, 2009. The Brotherhood reportedly expressed to the administration their support for democracy and that war on terror thing. Now, any sane person would say, I think you're lying. But as we've seen, this administration went right along with it.
The term Muslim Brotherhood is an umbrella term for a variety of movements. In the case of Egypt, a very heterogeneous group, largely secular, which has eschewed violence and has decried Al-Qaeda as a perversion of Islam.
(2009). So they're back in talks, saying, I heart you, you heart me. Yeah, then we can all get along. Let's go for democracy. Then, way back again in the time machine, November 2010. That's last fall. Not too far in the distant past. In the midst of the midterm elections, when nobody was looking, there was this story. Man, I wish we would have seen it then, huh? Obama, NSC, meets with Egypt democracy advocates. The article reports that top Obama National Security Council officials met with a group of bipartisan foreign policy experts who advocate the U.S. get more involved in, of all places, Egypt. What are the odds? Now, these bipartisan groups, they have all kinds of people involved. They have Project on the Middle East for Democracy, Human Rights Watch. They have the Carnegie Endowment. They have the Brookings Institute. They have Freedom House. And, of course, we know Center for American Progress. Let me show you. This is so crazy. This is crazy. We know that George Soros is involved in that one. So, and that one, and that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. But also at the table, on the Obama side, was the completely neutral Samantha Power. She's half of the most dangerous couple in America. I'm going to put her over here, because I say he's the most dangerous man in America, Cass Sunstein. She's her... Danger is her middle name. She's an aide to Obama. And just in the last 24 hours, she was described by Time magazine as, quote, the foremost voice for human rights within the White House. She has Obama's ear, according to the executive director of Human Rights Watch. Human Rights Watch? Have I seen that before? Oh, yeah, that's right. George Soros's group. This one. These are also all of his groups, but this one is the one I'm talking about that just said this about her. How do they know her? Well, she wrote this book, Problem from Hell. It's about genocide. But she's not just an author. No. This idea was so good that somebody said, I like that. I like that. Call her up. The many faces of George Soros. Hey, it's me. I'm not so evil right now. I just want to say, you're genius. Why don't you get together with my charity group? So she did. And then they spawned, you ready? The Global Center for the Responsibility to Protect, which gives us the responsibility to protect doctrine, which sends us into Libya. Isn't that weird?